All right, let's kickstart the show then by putting the spotlight first up on Boat Lifestyle, one of the fastest growing audio and wearable brands in the country. They've recently partnered with Reliance Jio to launch a smartwatch with eSIM connectivity. We talk about their revenue potential, growth plans, and lots more. Sameer Mehta is the co-founder and CEO now joining in. Sameer, thanks so much for taking time out. Let's talk about this smartwatch with eSIM connectivity. I understand that users can actually make calls and send messages without the use of their smartphones. Tell us more.
So yeah, this is a new product that we've currently launched, right? Which essentially is a 4G enabled Wi-Fi watch. Basically, you don't need the phone, to do your regular things, right? Whatever smartwatches available on the market right now don't come with 4G connectivity, so it's not a standalone device. So this is our first endeavor to bring down, a cost-effective solution to the Indian customers. And that's why we partnered with Jio, which is an eSIM capability on the watch. It's essentially a health and fitness watch, but it has its own network capability, so you can use it on the go without the phone.
Now, I believe that the overall revenue from your smartwatch segment has seen a very smart 50% plus year-on-year growth. What are the growth projections here, and what has really driven this growth?
So honestly, for us, what we are doing is we are taking a calculated bet on the smartwatch industry as we speak, right? Because it's actually what people are buying currently in India is not a smartwatch. It is a digital watch with a LCD screen. So what we've done is we've taken a calibrated approach in terms of growth, and what we want to build out is a health and wellness suit rather than compete on price points and compete on screen sizes. So this year, in fact, we've not taken any growth. What we are doing is, we kind of regrouping and, going back to the drawing board and understanding what are the segments we want to target. And overall, over the next 1 or 2 years, this strategy should play out and the growth will start coming back. But as of now, it's something that, we are holding fort and ensuring that, we are doing the right things for the business rather than getting carried away with, where the market is currently.
What about the outlook on your operating revenue? How has that fared for the year gone by? And how are you looking at your contribution from the wearable segment?
So for us, I think, at board, we'd be able to grow at about 15% plus in our audio category. Of course, like I said, at smartwatches, we kind of going back to a drawing board. So the growth may not be there. But audio is definitely one of our strong stays. 75% of the company's revenue actually come from audio. And that's where we are, well poised. We have the largest market share in the country. We have about 40+% market share in the audio devices category. In fact, we've become the second largest, brand in the world, just after Apple to ship about 14.7 million devices in the last quarter. So audio is a great story for us. And, we'll continue the momentum. We are engineering our devices in India. And we have some successful launches which are actually trending at about 200-300 crores ARR on single SKUs. So essentially, audio is doing really well, and that'll keep growing for us at both.
Now, despite the rise in your top line, you slipped into the red for the first time since your inception in FY23. What led to that, and what is the game plan then to reverse those losses and break back into the black?
So essentially, if you look at us, right, I mean, we've always been profitable. Of course, last year has been around, investments in Make in India and, the whole supply chain moving to India, right? And we made some strategic investments in, people capabilities, IT capabilities. Essentially, that is what's, got us to the red. Our unit economics actually stay as strong as ever. Overall, yes, last year wasn't a good year, but this year, we should turn that around and we will be EBITDA and PAT positive by the end of the year. And the growth momentum continues for the company. 25 looks like a great year in the coming because, like I said, we are engineering everything in-house. We're taking complete control over the product. So we see a large horizon for us, and the company will be profitable over the coming next years.
So you've been making products in India since early 2022. Tell us about how many units you've produced so far in the country.
So just to put a number to that, right, up until last year, we made about 1.2 million devices. This year, we've already crossed about 20 million devices that have been made in the country. And the outgoing run rate looks like a 30 million device plus that we'll be manufacturing in the country.
And in terms of the net sales growth, what has it been from product sales? Can you walk us through your long-term projections? Because for FY23, you were generating net sales of nearly 4,000 crores.
So, like I said, Avan, right? On audio, we're growing well, right? We'll grow at about 15 to 17% clip. Overall company revenues may not, look as good as, last year, or maybe they match them because we are regrouping on our audio strategy. And we've also closed down a couple of experiments that we'd run a couple of years ago of coming up with, audio brands at different price points. And that strategy, I think, has not worked for us. So essentially, top line growth, should be flat, but audio within that space is still growing, and wearables, we might look at a degrowth.
You've also announced the strategic vision of building a comprehensive wellness ecosystem via your software platform and the consumer app. Tell us more.
So essentially, if you look at us, right, what we've done is, we hold the own stack on wearables and on audio now, right? Because wearables, we acquired a company called Kaha about a couple of years ago. It's a Singapore-based company which owns the entire hardware, firmware, app, and cloud stack. So we have control over the complete device. And what we want to do is, create health and wellness and, sports-related watches, which are essentially the need of the hour, right? I mean, if you look at, the close competition is from say companies like Amazfit or Pebble or Apple, right? And these devices are expensive. We have the capability internally to value engineer devices at a low cost, at similar performance to international brands. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna continuously keep innovating and ensuring that we deliver value for money for the customers. At the same time, create an aspiration for everyone with the brand led strategy. On the audio side, we've had our R&D set up for the past 4 years now. I mean, tomorrow, Jan 24 will actually be the fourth year of R&D in India, and we've seen some good success over there. We launched a product called Nirvana Ion, which by itself it's a single SKU trending at about 200-300 crores ARR, and it's the world's first device which has a 24 hours battery on a single earbud, and if you use the case, it's got about 120-hour battery backup, right? And it's got app connectivity, it's got sound personalization, it's got ANC. So we've got an entire suite of features that a customer would want. And that's what I keep talking about, that we have entire control over the product. And that's why we see that the momentum for both will continue, not domestically, also internationally. We'll at some point we'll want to go international, and the revenues will keep pace.
And there is also a lot of competition, the likes of Xiaomi, Realme, Noise, OnePlus. If I could just add some names to this, how are you dealing with competition?
Yeah, so competition has always been around, right? When we were born in 2016, there were more than 100 brands, and the story still continues, right? There's always threat from Indian domestic players, from Chinese players, and global players. We've kind of navigated that well. Over a period of time, we built capabilities internally that we are able to come out with devices which are really exceptional in quality, really great on features, and pocket friendly, right? And our brand has got a lot of aspirations. So we've kind of ticked all the right boxes. And for us, it's important to keep innovating continually, right? And if we manage to do that, I think we should be successful internationally as well.
And what about your IPO plans? And when can we see an overall IPO being launched?
So IPO currently, like I said, we are building a second core. Audio is our mainstay, right? 75-78% of the company's revenue actually come from audio. But when you're building out a second core, right, you got to establish and have proof points before you go to the IPO markets. So within the next 1 year, 1.5 years, we should be able to play out this strategy completely, and probably post that go to the markets, because IPO markets require predictability, which is the most important. And creating predictable businesses is something that we are working at. I think it looks like an 18 to 24 month journey, but we should get there.
Let's move right on then and